All right, what's going on? Is Bobby Skinner talking Giants, doing a free agent film breakdown on the Giants' new addition, right guard Greg Van Roten from the Las Vegas Raiders. Obviously, this guy played next to Jermaine Alamanor, played under the Giants' offensive line coach Carmen Brasillo. I think he's a solid player. Now, this film is the best of his career. Right at 34 years old, he had the best year of his career last year for the Raiders. But the good sign is he'll be playing against next to the same right tackle, playing under the same offensive line coach, and his film is solid. Right, he's not some like ass kicker that you go and teach other guards how to play ball with. But he did his job pretty damn well. So make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. We are killing it with camp content. If you're a Giants fan, this is the channel for you. But let's get into it. We're going to go through the pass protection first. First play versus the Giants here versus Nacho. Wide alignment. Good rep. Right? We set towards him. We want to get close to head up as possible. And you see him throw out that right hand. Bam, right? Bam. Slow that momentum. Then you bring the left hand onto his hip. And then watch the feet, right? Anchor. With your hands tight. Balls out. Good stuff. Next play. Right? Here again versus Nacho. Right? Nacho gets some extension on him and see how he breaks the hands off. Right? We're setting head-to-head like we want, right? That's the relationship you want with the pass rusher. But what you don't want is, even though your hands have like good placement, you don't want his hands up here, because then he can pull, he can move you if he's a stronger defender, or even if he's not, he can have that leverage. And so, one, we extend, right, to get those hands off of you, but we don't want him to now break his, we don't want the defensive lineman to break, your hands off. So what does he do? Take that left hand, bam, right? Get that hand off of you, and then replace. Put it in the hip. Man, that's a really, really nice play right there. Next play. Similar stuff, right? We set to the way we want them. And that punch you want that punch to be quick, right? You don't want them to use it against you. Bam, right? Now the hands are a little high, right? And that's something that shows up pretty often with him, is the hands coming in high. But does a good job. Take that hand off. Place it back. Good anchor. Balls out. Next play here versus Detroit. Right, versus Frank Kaminsky. Not Frank Kaminsky, John Kaminsky. Frank Kaminsky is a basketball player. Now obviously gets, bowled over by this stunt over here. Right, so we see hands high again, right? Don't want that. Slide that hand down, right? Still not even the best spot, but just replace those hands. And he's working a bull rush on you, right? This defensive lineman comes off low with leverage, right? That's hard to block. So what do? How do you re-anchor? Both feet in there. Get to that hop step. Bam. Re-anchors quickly. Most guys got to get to that when they go to that hop step. It's 1 and then 2. He's able to anchor well. And then Jimmy G scrambles. Next play. Again, getting to that hop step, right? We've got a slide, a 4-man slide. So we want to get to that head-to-head relationship. Play the full man. Right, you throw that punch, and the D lineman, McNeil from Detroit, he swipes it off of you, right? He swipes it off of you, trying to work right here. So you reload your hands. Don't turn your hips. Stay even with the line of scrimmage. Get your hands back on him. The D lineman counters the power. Hop step again. Bam. Right? Anchor. Give your quarterback a nice pocket to make a throw to Mayer. Here versus Kansas City. Right? Nice pop in that punch. We're going to pull out the two-handed punch. Bam. Just stun that rusher. Then reload your hands. Balls out. Here versus Chris Jones. Now, Chris Jones, won some snaps on this, and we're obviously going to see that. But Chris Jones, to me, I know we love Dexter Lawrence is the best defensive tackle in the game. But what you don't see is these bad, quick losses, right? You throw up that right hand. Now with Jones, what Jones tries to do is not allow you to get fully in front of him, and he gets upfield, and he does that well, and he even does that halfway decent on this play, right? But you throw out that punch, right? Raise his pad level. Bam, right? Shock him. Keep your feet moving, right? Because he's trying to get around here and get flat at the quarterback. So keep your feet moving with it. Keep your hands on him. Replace your hands, right? You see how Chris Jones is working that hand off of you? Replace it. Here on another 4-man slide protection. Get on him, right? Then mirror. Get those hands on him. He's trying to counter back. Keep your feet moving. Work with him. I'm in Newark, and the sirens are always going off. Here again, another slide protection versus McNeil. You want to be quick. Bam. You want to bring the punch before he does. Bam. Get those hands on him. McNeil wants to counter, right? He wants to work that swim. Keep your feet moving. Slide with him. He wants to go back left. Slide with him. So some good stuff. Here on this next play, he recovers well. Oh, sorry. No, that last one was the recover with. So now we're going to go through some bad reps here, right? I think I got 5 right here. This is a sack he gave up. Again, in this slide protection, right? So McNeil jumps into our gap. That's what we're responsible for. And so McNeil's got momentum. You want to stop that momentum, and he puts his head down, right? Puts his head into it. So when you put your head into it, you don't have your feet completely under you. You're not able to slide with them, right? So now we got to overcompensate, right? Now we got to lean, and he spins off of you and gets a sack, right? Whereas if you don't lead your head into this, when he starts to move into this gap, you don't open up and give this lane, right? You just keep yourself totally square with the line of scrimmage. And then when he counters back, you're there. But instead, just that head lean right there, bam, right? It doesn't allow your feet to move over with him. Allows him this gap. So now you got to lean on him, and he spins off of you, feels you, sack. Another play versus McNeil. Right, this didn't happen often. This is like the quickest win I saw. Again, I went through 3 games of film. Throws that right hand out there, stab. And McNeil just does a good job timing it up, right? So this is why you got to change your pass, especially at guard. You got to change your pass sets up because the guys will time you up, right? So they're going to watch film and say, hey, when he throws that right hand out, wait for him to strike with the left hand. And McNeil just does a good job to swim off of this. Bam. Good job by Jimmy G stepping up in this pocket. And a good job to, hey, you get beat, stay with it, right? Stay with it. Give your quarterback a way to step up into this. Here versus Dex. Right, and this is what Dex is so good at, is just getting underneath guys' arms and not letting them replace, right? Like we talked about before, his hands landing high, right, and he replaces. What Dex does so well is that he gets your hands underneath you, right, and he gets underneath your arms, and he keeps like churning his hands to not allow you to do that. And you can see it, ends up putting him on his ass, on a ball that gets out. Here versus Chris Jones. Right? I like the aggression on the punch. But we got to slide our feet with the punch, right? So when we pull this left foot here on this punch, well, now the next natural movement for any human being is to open up your hips and turn. So just take one more step and then throw that punch. 'Cause I like the punch, right? It's a nice violent punch. But you got to keep your feet moving with it. And then here, this last bad one we'll go through. Again, very similar, right? You want to get fully in front of him. So we throw this violent punch. But the main thing we want to do is see how we widen out here, right? You don't want to be that wide, right? You don't want to be able to drive a school bus underneath you. You want to set, take one more set, and then throw that punch. Because when he works those arms off of you and he lands a punch, well, now you're just not in position. So, good, bad, as a pass protector, he did his job, right? 13th out of 85 guards in pass blocking efficiency last year. He did what he was supposed to do within the blocking schemes. In the run game, again, he's not like some ass kicker on his own, but what he does do is he plays smart, right? He knows timing on getting to the second level. He works combos really well, and that's where you get excited about this signing. It's like, okay, well, guess what? He's playing next to the same right tackle. He's playing under the same offensive line coach. He's going to teach all these things the same way. And, he does a good job getting to his landmark. So let's go through this first play. I mean, this is just a demolishing of Dexter Lawrence between him and Jermaine Eleanor. Now, this is more Eleanor than Van Roten, but Van Roten does do his job, even though he ends up on the ground. What Van Roten's job to do on this is to punch, strike, extend, and set up Eleanor to get into that hip of Dexter Lawrence. Now you keep your feet moving. You've got him. We're moving him across hashes. We're moving from the right hash to the numbers. Here with the center on Dex, right? We take that bucket step. Now the roles are reversed, right? 68 is holding him up. We get to lean and get our hip into him, right? And you see that movement, right? And you're comboing into McFadden, right? McFadden doesn't make a decision, so you keep pushing. Keep pushing. Here, another double team with Eleanor on Ashawn Robinson this time. We're zone blocking, right? Good first step, right? Choppy steps, wide base. Keep your feet moving. Keep your base underneath you. And now you get to just drive. And you get to put them in the end zone. And getting to the second level, whether it's on his own, whether it's on combo blocks, does a really good job. I want to put this one first just because it's just sick. I mean, watch what he does to Bobby Okereke. Bam! I mean, come on. Did anyone else do that to Okereke last year? I mean, just puts him on his ass and then disrespects him. Right? Like, these guys are going to have to talk this out before the next practice. Right? We get out there with some urgency and just power. Bam! Don't finish. Get on top of him. Finish. Don't let him get back up and make a play. Get chippy with him. And then here with your regular combos to linebacker. So working with the center. Right? Running split zone. You want to get this defensive lineman's helmet from here to here. That's your job on this. Bam. That's what you do. And now you square up that linebacker, take him on. Right? It's not your fault that 68 doesn't finish this block. And Eleanor doesn't do a great job on it either. Bam. Now square up that linebacker. Awesome job. Awesome job. Here again versus Detroit. Same thing. Right? This time different play. ISO. See his helmet here? We want it there. Bam. Done your job, right? Bam. Get into that shoulder, get some power, square up with your linebacker. I mean, what more? That's exactly how you want to do it. That's exactly how you want to do it. Now here, versus McNeil, he doesn't actually he doesn't give you the punch that he wants, but at the red zone does a good job getting to the linebacker, right? Right? We don't get the power that we want, right? They're just running duo on this. We're stepping together. So you got good hip to hip. Then peel off, pick off that linebacker. Allows Jacobs to run through McNeil's arms. Touchdown. Throw the ball at the play clock. Roll around. Celebrate. Eleanor celebrating too. I love it. All right, next play. Here versus Kansas City. Get into the second level versus Willie Gay. Right? Get out there quick, but not too quick. We want to check. Right? Because we want to make sure this end doesn't jump inside, right? Because if the end jumps inside, we have to take him, and Eleanor is going to get to the backer, and your running back's going to get out here. right? But he doesn't check. All right, play into the linebacker. Bam. Keep your feet moving. There's your hole. Right? There's your hole. 68 didn't do a great job. That's your gap, right? One-on-one with the safety. Next play. Here versus Willie Gay again. Right, this time going to the left. Good cutback by Jacobs. But that's a hard block to make, right? He's going to get out and go. You want to get your helmet across his and flip your hips. And Gay brings some power, right? But keeps his strength under him. Flips those hips, right? Flip the hips. And if they're flowing heavy, allows Jacobs to cut back, get himself a nice run. Now here on like some, base blocks, this is where it's just like, it's solid. It's not bad. He, allows guys to get off, but this is, example of a pretty good one, right? Gets his hands, keep your feet moving. And these blocks are kind of hit or miss for him, right? They're, there's not these big losses where he gets bullied or anything, but he does allow guys to slide off him at the end. But here does a good job. Keep your feet moving, go through them. And then even on these, like these reach blocks, like here's an example of a bad one versus Ashawn. We take that step, right? Does a good job getting to his placement, right? But Ashawn's just able to get underneath him. You're not able to, this is the place, this is where you want to be, but what you want to do is keep that knee driving through. Drive through him, get movement. Instead, Ashawn's able to get in here and make a tackle. And then here's an example of a good one, right? Here for his 56. First Karloftis. We get to our placement, right? That's what we want. Now we keep our feet moving, driving through with flipping our hips, and get him upfield. So overall, this is a solid player, and I expect him to be one of the Giants' best starting five, and I think he's going to be a starter. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe. Check out the rest of the channel. I think we are the #1 place for New York Giants content. And if the Giants add some waiver wire guys or whatever, we'll have film breakdowns out on them too. So appreciate you guys. See you on the next one. Until then, let's go Big Blue.